All right, so I'm going to do 3 guesses.
Okay, go for it.
It's that I'm not a fearmonger and that Fox News is actually the fearmonger. Actually, they've changed their tune. They've actually changed their tune. I know you don't read the news, but all of their anchors are now encouraging their viewers to get the vaccine. So I'm thinking it must be a class action lawsuit afoot.
Well, good for them. I'm glad that they are encouraging that. No, I don't think that you're a fearmonger. Sometimes I just wonder, like, I don't know. I think Chris is in my head. Let's blame Chris on this one because Chris gets in my head sometimes with his little conspiracy theories and his feelings on everything that has transpired over the past year and a half. So I'm gonna blame Chris on my current aversion to all things COVID. So
yeah, but Chris is more aware about COVID than you are.
yeah, he is. But I'm just gonna live in my little bubble and keep doing my things. I just saw the recommendation the other day that children over the age of 2 need to go back to school masked. That's really all I cared about. So beep bop boop.
So wait a second. When you say Chris, he's not a QAnon conspiracy theory level person.
No, he's not a QAnon conspiracy level theory person, but he does feel very strongly that this is not a natural occurrence. He feels like there is a lot of like back end weird control, things like we're not being given the whole story. We're not being told the truth. There's a lot of like weird bullshit happening in the background that he is suspicious of, and
well, I mean, I agree with him that we're not being told the truth, but that's what my job is. I can't even find that. But like when he says not naturally occurring, like how so if it's a global phenomenon?
I think, and now he'll probably correct me, but his original thinking was along the lines of this was created in a lab and was released on purpose.
So he thinks Wuhan killed a bunch of their own people.
No, he doesn't think it was Wuhan. He thinks that it was the United States. Yes, us.
Listen. Okay, now we're cooking with fire. Listen, I don't believe in those theories just yet. Listen, see, I said just yet. But if I had to, if you sat me down in a room and was like, America is fucked up, I wouldn't put it past us.
Yeah, America is fucked up.
Okay, so he does believe that you have to wear masks and you will get fucking sick.
Yes, he believes all of that. He would, like, we were talking this weekend. He was like, he was listening to NPR and he was like, I'm thankful that NPR has finally like started talking in a way. He thinks that a lot of the media is blowing things out of proportion in relationship to what's actually happening. He was like, for example, this weekend, I guess NPR was reporting and they were saying like there is an 800% increase in coronavirus cases. And then they walked it back and they were like, but that only means that there are X number of new cases, which was a lot less scary than hearing an 800% increase, right? So it's the language, it's the way that we're talking about it. And he was like, I feel like sometimes we're being pushed to think a certain way or believe a certain thing, and that they're kind of skewing things in a certain direction. And in some cases, he's like, I don't think that it is as widespread now, right? I think that things are different than they were back in the winter time as far as cases. So there's this shift happening in the way that we talk about it.
No. I don't believe that. I think that Delta is fucking 50% more transmissible, and we are well on our way to being back to wintertime 2020. 100%.
Right. No, I think what he was saying was like the way that we talk about it. Like when you hear an 800% increase, if that only means, 10 more cases, 800% increase sounds a lot more severe than 10 more cases. Those aren't the exact numbers, but I'm just saying the way that we're talking about it, because people don't do research. People aren't looking into it. They're not, you are, but the general masses are not. So trying to
I do believe that the increases are real, and the part that you have to connect to that is the increases are real because the mask mandates have been dropped.
Yes. But it's just making sure that we're talking about it in a way that the general population will understand and make the right choices. I was listening to a report on the way to work this morning, and the gentleman, I think it was like maybe the former Surgeon General, and he was saying, was saying, if I'm in a group of vaccinated individuals, I am unmasked. If I am in mixed company and I don't know, and I think the crux of his message was, you need to be vaxxed and masked in situations where you don't know the status of other people. And I think that that's the message that needs to be, it's not if you're vaccinated, you are free of being a responsible person. If you're vaccinated, great. You've done a nice job in protecting yourself and those around you, but also that doesn't mean that you get to run free in the world.
And that's not the message that they said.
No, and that's what they need to be saying.
And because they didn't say that, I do believe in those increases.
Right, but it's not like 800.
It is 700 and 800%. It really, truly, actually is.
Right, right, but it's not like a million people. It's like a small, reasonable number in some cases.
Right, but 15 became 25,000, became 100,000. Became 600,000. I'm talking about cases.
Deaths?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to think about coronavirus as an exponentially damaging thing. So when I see those big ass numbers, I'd be like, "Yep, I don't see the value in not scaring people with big ass numbers."
Well, maybe it's just then the way that Chris talks to me, because he knows that I go to doom and gloom every single time. That's why I try to stay out of it.
As you should. Because the part that they're not saying is the fucking efficacy of the vaccine itself. Like, I think people think they get the vaccine and that's that. Motherfucker, in 6 months' time, your ass is still unprotected again. I think the shit wears the fuck off. On top of nobody's wearing a mask. We will be right back. There are people in this country right now living in a state where their ICU is full.
Yeah.
And that means the percentage of the increase is real. AF. I live in a place where 80% of my town is vaccinated. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I had that shit. Because my child was put in a position with other people, i.e. children, who are not vaccinated. And then when they say mild, I think they're playing that part down too. This is where they always messed up. A mild infection, everybody's like, you're going to be fine. You're not going to die. The problem is we're scared of death. Death should be the fucking crazy threshold where it's like, don't worry about dying. Definitely worry about getting sick. Definitely worry about getting sick for a very long time. And that's where I'm at. Like, people have this general idea where, oh, I'm vaccinated. I can't possibly get COVID. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm vaccinated. I can't possibly get long COVID. Motherfucker, where? Who said that? This is a novel and new disease. Who said that?
Yeah.
And so my fear has always been, A, feeling like shit, I don't want to, and B, feeling like shit forever.
Right.
And if everybody were worried on that level, then we'd be straight because everybody would just have their mask on.
Nah,
everybody would have their mask on.
Everybody, though, there are people that believe, oh, it's not going to happen to me. So I think the belief that like everybody would be, you're not going to get everybody on the same page.
Well, you're not going to get Trump supporters on the same page because they have believed a bunch of bullshit, which I can't wait for. I want to see how they're going to backpedal out of this one.
Right.
So you, for 18 months, Sean Hannity, told everybody that the vaccine's going to kill you, the vaccine is bullshit, the vaccine this and that, and now you're on there going, I believe in science, and everybody should get this vaccine. So which is it, motherfucker? Which part? What was the end game, Fox News? You were going to kill your viewers? The ones that you need?
Yeah. So no, it's not that.
Okay, so it's not that.
No.
That's the best thing I'm right about, though. Oh, is Quinn getting a phone?
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
Because it's dangerous as fuck to have a child out in the world that you can't track 100%. It's also social suicide.
It's not that. So we've had a few things pop up this summer wherein it would have been convenient for her to have her own phone. Now, nothing tragic happened. Nothing bad happened. She was able to contact us every time, but it did make it very clear that it would be helpful to have a phone. And then this past week, I jump into Facebook every once in a while to check direct messages because my dad insists on sending me Facebook messages. So I have to look for those, and I like to look at AJ's pictures, and I like to see what's going on in the neighborhood parental groups. So I got on, and a parent had posted about this thing called a Gabb phone, Gabb. And it is like a $100 phone, but if you have somebody that has one, you can get like an automatic $30 off because they have a code. And then there's no internet, nothing. So basically it is a phone. Like they can text, they can take pictures, they can listen to music, they can make calls, and that's it. And I was like, okay, this is the solution. This is a phone. She only, we give it to her when she's, going out, going to do stuff. She goes to gymnastics, what have you. So she has this phone. And so I showed it to Chris, and he was like, well, like we could just add a line to your phone because he has a work phone. So we don't, do with his. But he's like, I think we can add to your plan for like $5 a month, and we'll just get her like a basic phone. That way, if we decide that she, needs to be able to have internet access or what have you, like we can add it in, whereas we can't with this other one. So
okay, let me jump in. Thank you, Chris. Ain't nobody getting no Gabb phone. I know if I'm fucking Quinn, I'm like, you're really gonna give me a fucking jitterbug? Ma'am. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if Quinn came at you like that if when you presented the Gibby Gabby.
No,
I'm not using that phone.
She was on board, first of all. So she was on board
with
which
the
was
Gibby
good.
Gabby or a real phone?
No, with the Gabb. She was like, okay, yeah. And then we actually went to AT&T this weekend, and we bought a Samsung because I don't think that a child needs a very expensive iPhone. She's not using it for anything other than making phone. Like it was a thing where like we hold on to it and you get to have it when you're going out of the house and you might need to call us. So this wasn't even going to be like in her possession all the time. And so then
we're getting there.
So then Chris was like, wait a minute. We're paying $5 a month for this phone, and I'm paying $40 a month for service. This is a lot of money to be spending for her to not actually have the phone in her possession at all times.
Thank
and I was
you,
like,
Chris. This is the only motherfucker who I'm trying to talk to. I'm like, what you talk about? Just give it to her. Give her the goddamn phone.
So then it came back to where, okay, he's like, I'm gonna take this phone back. I'm gonna see if we can find a cheaper phone. He was like, because this is stupid. We're like, and I was like, yeah, but what's the solution? Like, she needs to have this. And you figured out. He's like, well, when I was her age, I was going to Madison Square Garden and I'd get back to the train station at like midnight and just call my mom. And I was like, right, but you had a landline and there was a payphone. That's not available to her anymore. So,
and nobody was trying to kidnap his ass.
Right. Right.
Everyone's trying to kidnap little girls. That's the truth.
He took the Samsung back to AT&T. They went to Best Buy this weekend, and I guess he got her like an SE. So she I guess is getting an iPhone, but it's not the fancy new one. She also somehow managed to get a fucking pair of AirPods because he bought a new computer. And I guess, like, when you get a new computer, you get AirPods. So this child walked out of this deal like, I don't even know. Not my kid. My kid's not getting those things, but she definitely now has both of those things.
Well, see, and I was going to stop you there, Brett. The second you said Samsung, I was like, I don't want to interfere with any potential sponsors, but you need an Apple phone so that your Life 360s can work together.
Yeah, so now we need to get on that, but yeah, so
because Life 360 lets you track her by the minute. Okay, and that's what I like. So if Shalom is out of my house, out of my possession, I like to know exactly which motherfucking park bench she's sitting on so I can get there. And I triangulate with her little mom's friends. I sure do.
Yeah.
I'll call the children she's with, and I was like, does your Life 360 say this? They'll be like, yep. I go, all right, I'll pick them up at 6. See you then, lady. Like, she needs Life 360, so you needed an iPhone. This is a wonderful, wonderful development in your parenting. I'm very excited about this because I did not like Quinn leaving the house, not even to go to Starbucks. That's how motherfuckers get kidnapped.
Well, really the biggest thing that has kind of sat in the back of my mind is about, what was it, like 4 weeks ago, she was at gymnastics, she got really hurt, and she's the kid who she's me. She's not going to cry at gymnastics. She's not going to share her emotions. I mean, she was hurt to the point where we thought her arm was broken, but because she didn't advocate for herself and she didn't say something to her coaches, they gave her ice and they let her sit on the sidelines. She hurt herself at the beginning of practice. Practice is 2 hours long. We didn't get a phone call. Nobody said anything to us because she did not express how much in pain she was. So at that moment, I thought, you know what? If my kid had a way to contact me privately and let me know that she needed to be picked up, this would have been a totally different experience. And so that was really the catalyst for making sure that she had something, because I felt horrible. Chris was like, as soon as she got in the car, she lost it and cried the whole way home. Her arm was swollen. We ended up having to take her to the doctor, get an x-ray it was a whole mess. So that was the biggest thing for me. That was like, okay, this,
well, the gymnastics coach also should have called anyway.
I could not believe that nobody reached out. Nobody said anything. And I don't know if it was just because she was just like, I'm fine. I'm just going to sit here and ice it. Or what? I mean, they walked out with her after practice and explained.
Even still, I don't care if you got a mosquito bite.
Huh?
I don't care if you got a mosquito bite. Mrs. Back, your child was in this situation today. I need to know all of it.
Well, they walked out with her after practice, but I really feel like somebody should have, unless she totally played it down, which I'm assuming is what happened. She played it down, I'm fine, and sat out, and then they walked her out at the end and explained, that she fell and hurt herself. But that also opened up a conversation of like, if you need something, you need to let people know. You're not a burden. It's not embarrassing. It's not, whatever. Like, you need to speak up for yourself, because this could have big consequences in a situation where like all of your friends are doing something that's like really wrong, or something's happening that's wrong and you feel uncomfortable and you need to get out. Like, you have to be able to put your foot down and say, like, I've got to go. This isn't working.
Is her arm okay?
Yeah, her arm is fine. We went to the pediatrician the next day because it was swollen and she was still complaining it hurt. And the pediatrician was like, nah, I think this needs an x-ray. So we went over and got the x-ray and it was totally fine. She just fell on it really, really hard.
Well, thank goodness she hurt her arm. That arm said, iPhone time, baby. I am so happy. For real, I'm so happy. She cannot be out in the world. First of all, your only daughter? No, ma'am. Cannot be out in the world without being able to be tracked. Absolutely not. Nope. So this is wonderful.
Yeah, so look at us. On the page. You were right.
But now you got to go on there. You got to go on there and be checking her stuff, because they can hide shit on that phone. They start accounts. They start social medias you don't be knowing about. You got to go in there and just scroll through each page. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I do random checks on the iPad all the time. So she's a really good kid.
Yeah.
She's not, she's not getting into anything she's not doing. And she knows if she sees, something that she's not, like that Lil Nas X video. She was like, yeah, I realize that's not for kids. So I didn't watch it again.
Yeah, you got to check stuff, because right now Shalom has a Snapchat that I don't know how to get into.
Oh, no. No.
Mm-hmm. Because she said something the other day and said, oh, no, they talk on Snapchat. And I said, what do you know about Snapchat? She's like, I have a Snap. I was like, I'm sorry, excuse. She goes, you don't remember you let me have one? And I was like, well, then how am I not on there? I need the password.
Yes.
But the other thing is, I think what happens is we as adults forget that children need to hear things specifically and outright.
We've had this conversation. This has been, let's see, she'll be in 6th grade. So this is the last 4 years, really, of school. It's been a constant reminder. When she was being treated unkindly by some girls in 2nd grade, and there was one day where she was crying on the playground, and she came home and told me about the situation. That's kind of when the conversation started up of like, if you need help, you need to get an adult. It's okay. You're not bothering anybody. Every year that we fill out those little papers, like we get these little sheets where we can tell about our child's strengths and weaknesses and, make recommendations. If there's teachers that you want your child to have, you have to put down like 3 different teachers that you would prefer them to have. Every year, I have to tell the teachers, my child could have both legs broken and actively be on fire. And you would say, Quinn, are you okay? And she's like, yep, totally fine. She's the kid that's like not trying to make waves. She is, in some major shit. And she's just like, status quo, let's go, let's keep going. And then she just comes home and just unloads. And so it's really been an active like conversation. And, you have to understand that like you can ask for help. You can, you can not know things and it's okay. You can be hurting or upset or frustrated. It's okay. So really just trying to parent myself in in this relationship.
Yeah, and that requires a phone, because now she has a direct line to you. I'm saying, I thought it was crazy. I'm so happy you've come too. I'm saying, because I was like, Starbucks, goddammit, no, ma'am. The other day, Shalom was talking about a conversation she had with this boy, and I had to just stop right there and remind her. I had to just stop, and then I did a PSA on Twitter because it moved me so. I was like, remind your daughters of what like feels like. Mm-hmm. If a boy or whomever, if a person is being mean to you or saying something to trigger you or saying something to make you upset, that's not like. That's something else, and that's their shit, not your shit.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to say, I don't like that. I don't want to talk about that. Why did you bring that to my attention? Or no, we're not doing that.
Yes.
And I was like, so if you have started to second guess yourself and wonder, why he said that, or when people say things to hurt your feelings intentionally, that's not like.
Nope.
And so, like, I had to say, he might like you, but doesn't know how to express that. But that thing that people tell their girls, like, oh, if he's mean to you, it means he like you. No, motherfucker, we're not doing that. If he's mean to you, that means he doesn't know how to express himself and should talk to someone so that he can understand how to get somebody to like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
we talk all the time about hurt people. And if someone is mean to you, 9 times out of 10, honey, it has nothing to do with you, and there's something else that's going on for that person, either at home or internally. And you have to shut that down and say no. You can't take that on, because it absolutely has nothing to do with you or what you're doing or what you're saying. Now, if you're being an asshole, then that's another story. But if somebody just comes up to you unsolicited with something nasty or mean or says something gross, that's not yours to take on.
And like, little kids don't understand. Like, girls don't, they internalize shit that they hear.
Yeah.
In the little peer groups. And so I examine all the time. Like, she'll go through and tell me the whole, breakdown of the whole friend group. And I'll be like, this one's trying to get out of pocket. I don't like that. But I mean, I have to say it in kid ways,
right?
Because these are her friends. This is her core support group. But like, I do have to remind her oftentimes. And I've also had to say, Shalom, there's another thing too at play here. Where when someone doesn't like your autonomy and how you express it. So, if you're a person that doesn't go with the flow, and you're a person that is willing and weird enough to, make a style choice that other people aren't making, or, make it an open judgment that other people aren't making, and then that makes people feel a way about you, that's not about you. If you are living authentically your true self, like a motherfucker tells you, oh, you're intimidating. I'm not intimidating, bitch. You are intimidated by me. That's your shit.
Yep.
Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing.
Right. Absolutely.
But like, to try to like crystallize that and make it so that a little girl can understand. What's crazy is I'll be having these talks and Shalom will be like, eyebrows all puzzled and okay, like trying to get it. And Mom should be like, yup. Yup.
It's funny how they're all so different. I'm always just like amazed at how different my kids are and how differently they move in the world. And it's just, I don't know. It's that whole, nurture nature thing.
Which one do you worry about?
I worry about Lennox. Just because I think Lennox will be my child. And I only worry like while he's young, because he'll be the kid that's like, who has no fear, who has no worries, who is just like living life to the fullest. And I'm afraid he's going to get himself into some situations where he could get hurt or get in trouble. Just because he's like, yeah, let's try that. I worry about him the most. Who do you worry about?
Shira's ass. You know what it is? I worry about Shira because she's just very cute and enjoys being babied. No, like she comes home with wild shit all the time. She'll be like, well, and like I can already tell that this little girl has learned how to navigate the world leading with her looks first. I know that sounds crazy. She's 5, but I see her actively doing it. Me and Justin will be like, dude, what are we going to do? But she'll be like, oh my gosh, today my camp counselor, she just thought I was so cute. This is what I was doing. And then she'll show me the move she was doing. And she was like, and because my hair's in these buns, I was just moving them around. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, Shira. She's like, it was the best day at camp. I'm like, you vanity smurf. So she enjoys the attention she gets from being cute. and then she feeds off that baby energy, which is why I am not upset about holding her back and making her redo kindergarten, because she is treated very cutesy and toddlery because that's the energy she gives off. So like Shalom was telling me, every time I see Shira at camp, someone's carrying her. I was like, oh my God, is she a fucking Queen of Sheba? Like, what? And I'll be like, and so I asked her about it. I was like, Shira, who carries you around at camp? She's like, everybody. I was like, okay. Don't you just want to walk? She's like, not after the pool. It's really cold. I put my mask on and they have their mask on and they have me in a towel. I just like to get warm. I'm like, okay, see. So like, I'm very concerned. And it's not a bad thing. I just like, am hoping that at some point, you know, her brain will click on and she'll be like, oh, being cute's not the most important thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I feel weird about it, because where did she learn? My whole thing, I've always been, when we compliment the kids, Justin, don't tell them they're pretty first. Tell them they're smart. Tell them they're resourceful. Tell them they're this. Tell them they're that. Cute should come absolute last, but maybe it's because she's the youngest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Could be.
I mean, I have to send you a video of her. We went to go get them underwear, and I had to return a pair of shoes. So I was like, let's wait until the Delta goes home, and we'll go to the mall when it's dead, because I need to get my eyes examined too.
Yeah.
I'm standing in line to return my shit, and I have my kids like standing where nobody would go, like behind a rack, between a rack and a mirror. Like, you know how hard it would be to look at yourself in the mirror with up against a rack. So I was like, stand right there. Shira took the time to just, I mean, she had a whole fashion show with herself. It was multiple poses, like down the house. Don't, hit it there, hit it there, hit it there. Head, hair, give me hair, hip, like lips, yes. Like, and I could see what was going on in her head as she was doing it. And Maja's going, dude. Maja was like trying to hug her. Yeah. And Justin was like, just let her be. She's expressing herself. So like after a full like 2 minutes of this posing the house down in the mirror, full mask, in public, everybody's watching her. She like did the fainting thing, her hand on her forehead, and goes, I'm done. I was like, what the fuck? She's just a very vain.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Very cute. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very concerned.
I wonder where that came from. That's just like who she is, I guess.
I mean, we have to have talks with her all the time. So if I pay Maja or Shalom a compliment, Shira will be devastated. How dare you? What about me? What about you? When I say, Maja, I really like your outfit today, that doesn't mean I don't like your outfit. That means I said, Maja, I like your outfit. Maybe I haven't even seen your outfit yet. Maybe in my head I thought I liked your outfit, but I didn't say it out loud yet. You don't know what's going on with the other person who's paying a compliment. But when somebody else receives a compliment, it's not about you. Yeah. You shouldn't make it about you. And she is just like, ew.
Well, that self-confidence is good. So that's a positive, right? Because we want our girls to be, you know, confident in themselves and, you know, happy with how they look, but not at the expense of other, you know, valid parts of their character.
Yeah, so I do love the confidence. I just don't want it to become obnoxious.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, it'll be hard for me as the mom to see that because, obviously, she's my baby. I think she's the most gorgeous child to ever.
Yeah. Ugh. Those younger ones. There's something really special about the baby. Just socially, personality-wise. It's been really interesting to see Lennox as he's gotten older and how he's navigating, you know, his place in the family and what he can do and what he can't do.
Oh, I love when you can see their little brain working on how they're going to like make this situation to their favor.
Oh.
When it's like a family thing, when we're all like sitting at the table or whatever, like I can see Shira like calculating when she's going to jump into the conversation, and then we'll jump into the conversation, but with the most nonsensical, illogical, nobody was talking about that, non-linear. But I could see how hard she tried and what she thinks she's doing. And we'll all go with it. Every single person in the family will be like, yeah, Shira, totally. Yeah.
Yesterday, we were at the pool, and I don't even know how this conversation came up. But, I think the topic came up that we were going to go visit my mom. And then Quinn said, well, who's your favorite grandma, Yoya or Gigi? And Bennett was like, you can't do that. You can't say that you have a favorite. They're both good grandmas. And Quinn was like, yeah, but like if they needed saving and you could only save one, who would you save? And Bennett,
no.
I know. And I was like, wow, this got really dark really quick. And Bennett was like, I'd sacrifice myself because I would rather save 2 lives than save one. And I was like, holy shit, you're 9. What 9-year-old? It just blew my mind that like he would think.
Because Bennett has emotional intelligence.
He does.
That's the part that is shocking you, but he probably has always had it. He's probably your most like in tune to other people child.
Yes. It's crazy. And it's just innate. It's just who he is. And then she was like, that's not what I said, Bennett. That's not how you could do, then you would all die because you didn't actually do the thing that I said. And I was just like, no, Quinn. I was like, he actually probably gave the most altruistic answer. But yeah, it's crazy. The older they get, it just gets like, it gets harder, I think, mentally. It's not the physical exhaustion at the end of the day, but it's interesting to watch them navigate friendships and social situations and home life. And
I see exactly what you mean. Like, we've gotten past that hump of like, I mean, not all the way. The little ones are still little and need their butts wiped and shit. But like now we're in the weird emotional space of, oh my God, they're becoming their whole own people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was not part of the gig. They have opinions.
Ugh.
So like you're never gonna have to worry about Bennett out in the world. Like he's, people are gonna take out a cigarette. Bennett's gonna be like, nah, that's cool. I don't do that. Like you could trust that he's not gonna do that.
Totally, 100%. The only thing that I worry
Lennox
about
is gonna be like, let me go get the fire.
Right. Yes, it's terrifying. It is terrifying. We were talking about something and I was like, of everybody that would like accidentally set the house on fire, it would be him. We were outside and Chris had bought fireworks for the 4th of July, like little like sparklers and like smoke bombs and stuff like that. And as they were walking back up, I was already in the house, so I didn't see this, but Chris had a glass bottle of Topo Chico. It was empty, and Lennox is carrying it back inside to put in the recycling bin, and somewhere in his brain popped up this idea. He took the glass bottle and hit it on one of the rocks in the landscaping, like we have some big rocks there. And Chris looked at him, and he's like, what are you doing? And he was like, well, I was thinking this rock is really hard, and this glass is really hard, so I was wondering if I took this glass and hit it on the rock, if I would break the rock. And Chris was like, I couldn't yell at him because I could understand, like, where his brain was going, and he was, like, thinking through some shit and was, like, trying to, figure this out. But at the same time, buddy, this is really, really dangerous. And so that's what concerns me is that, like...
Yeah. But how nice of Chris, because I'm yelling. What the fuck? Yeah. That glass could have popped back in your fucking face. Yeah. We have to protect your face. Your face is what we have. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen stitches go in?
Oh, he's already had stitches.
Yeah, and that's also probably another level that y'all deal with in, like, boy mom space. I don't have
be thankful that you don't have that physicality, because it is, I'm just waiting. I was surprised that Quinn was going to be the first one with a broken bone, because I really had Lennox pegged for that one. And really, he's still in the running at this point. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, how do you deal with all of that physicality? Like, are they like wrestling and like bumping into the walls, and then after they've been finished playing, the fucking pictures on the wall are crooked and shit like that?
Wrestling, jumping. The child can do a front flip off the diving board at the pool. He just was watch me.
Yeah, but he's going to graze his scalp. You're not allowed to do that.
He did it. But he's always been that kid. Like, he could pour himself a bowl of cereal and take the almond milk out and pour almond milk in and do it perfectly at the age of 2. Didn't need my help. Didn't talk for 2.5 years, but could climb all the counters, could help himself to whatever he needed. He didn't need me for shit. That's just, it's just who he is.
I can't do climbing on my furniture.
Yeah, they wrestle, they run, you know, they're climbing on shit. Bennett's more cautious because Bennett's clumsy. Doesn't have like the agility that Lennox has, but yeah, it's
because I have seen that where what also happens too is it's the same concept of nose blind, like where you live in the shit so you don't smell the shit, but like boy moms have I guess a physicality blindness, because I'll be seeing some shit and be like, hey, she ain't gonna stop. She don't see the boy doing she don't see him climbing it. Hold on a sec, she's not gonna stop him. You can see how rough he grabbed that off the shelf. Hold on, who told him he could have that?
Yeah.
So I'll just be sitting in the background watching boys while out and be like, how the fuck? I'm exhausted from this.
Yeah, I think you understand your own kid's limits, and you know, like, okay, this isn't escalating. This isn't going to go anywhere beyond, you know, tickling or rolling around on the floor. They're fine. It'll break up in a few minutes and it'll be over and they'll go do something else. I think that all mothers with sons, you know, they know when it's getting to the point where something's going to get broken.
It actually worked out, because I've seen from the time Justin first became an uncle to now, all the times we've ever been in a room with little boys, when we get back in the car, Justin's like, bro, I couldn't do it. I'm so stressed out. One time his nephew, we had, a long time ago, we had this Eames table, the surfboard table. It's not actually called the surfboard table. It's called the elliptical, but we let people call it the surfboard because we don't want to be that bitch. We had one, and it's low, and it's not, a piece of furniture that I would say a kid wouldn't understand. That's a fucking piece of modern furniture. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in his defense, I was like, Justin, it does look like a weird piece of furniture. It does look toyish. And also, we're just snobs, so, like, you just gotta let that go. But his nephew, little at the time, had to go get something, and he walked across the table to get it. And Justin Beck was like, bro. And I was like, it's a boy, it's a baby, it's a baby. It's a baby. Like, he shouldered up, and, like, I was like, what the fuck? It's a fucking piece of furniture. Are you guys for real right now? And it's like, oh my God, Justin. We didn't have kids yet either, so we couldn't like be like that. It was wrong to be like that. So I was like, Justin, shut up, calm down. And I could see his mom getting all tense. Yeah. Because nobody's gonna talk to her grandchild that way. And I was like, it's your nephew. He's like, it's a fucking $900 table. And ever since then, I was like, wow, he's not going to be able to deal with boys. And I've seen it. We've been to birthday parties. We've been to, like, bouncy houses. We've been in people's houses, and they have sons. And he's just like, it's probably, at first he was upset that he didn't have a boy. And he's like, it's really better this way. He's like, because he would raise a scarred man, because they would just be in a fight. Physical every day. I'll fucking break your fucking head. Did you just do that? Like, I can... So, like, where Chris had experience as a boy dad to be like, I couldn't be mad at him. I could see his logic. Glass, rock. Let's see which one wins. Like,
yeah.
Justin Beck would be like, are you fucking out of your fucking mind?
I mean, Chris has his moments. He almost lost his mind the other night because he had gone downstairs. Somebody wanted to play a video game, and so he went downstairs to play with them. And I think we've lost 2 TVs in the last 6 years to boys. Mm-hmm. And
but wait, what you mean?
Somebody, when we first moved into this house, Chris was in like a treat yourself mode and bought himself a nice TV that lived in the front room over the fireplace. And someone, we don't know who, threw something at it and broke it. Like,
well, it wasn't Bennett.
It wasn't Bennett. It was a baby Lennox. Somebody threw something, broke it, and he was so furious. That's a brand new TV. Like, lost his mind. So then there was a TV that we had. It was probably 10 years old, and it was living in the basement. And a neighbor boy threw something, and it hit the TV.
Hold on a second. Other motherfuckers come in the house and fuck your shit up?
They don't live here anymore, but this child was not allowed in the house after that because he also one time pushed Bennett into one of those IKEA bookcases, like the square ones that are like 2 squares deep and tall, like 4 squares across.
Yes.
Yes.
I shouldn't know that, but yes.
This child pushed Bennett, and this child was like 3 sizes bigger than Bennett, and so he should not have been roughhousing with him, but pushed Bennett and hit his head into the corner of it. After that, Richard wasn't allowed in the house anymore.
Hold on a second. And does Richard mama know that her child is a fucking hellion or no?
I think she kind of did, but also there was a lot of like,
oh, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
See, and I don't like that.
I don't either. So we've lost 2 TVs. So anyways, they were playing a game. Well, Chris notices like a mark on the TV downstairs. And Lennox cops to the fact that there are these very thin Lego sheets that the boys have, and you can like build on top of them. And he must have told Chris that he like swung it around or threw it at Bennett or did something, and it grazed the TV. So luckily it just left like a little plastic residue that he was able to clean off. So he does, when they break expensive things, and he loses his goddamn mind. But he's learned how to like temper it and understand like when we need to be angry and, you know, rigid, and when we need to be like, okay, this was an honest mistake. You did something you weren't supposed to do. Let's talk about, you know, why we could get hurt doing this, or how we could hurt somebody else, or how this could, you know, be detrimental.
So I'm just living over here very spoiled then.
Yeah, they come out of the basement playing video games, sweaty, wet hair. What are they doing playing video games? I have no idea, but it involves some kind of physical activity, and they come up stinking and sweaty.
Oh, see, no, baby.
Yeah.
I don't, I was actually talking to a boy mom about this the other day. She was like, oh, she has no girls. And she was like, Melissa, there are smells. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And they're not stinky until like a certain age. I feel like 6, 7, like then they start to get like a smell.
What do you mean 6, 7? What do you mean? Like a funky cheese feet smell, or
just like a sweaty head smell?
Scalp?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's my least favorite. Oh, nope. Nope. That's why I really don't like being places. Like, if I be in the CVS and I can smell your scalp, motherfucker, you are too close to me. Back up.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell a scalp. That's why I don't do public transportation. That sounds so terrible. I am such a fucking snob. But I've smelled too many scalps on there. I can't. We have to just take a cab. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, they have to. They get really mad. I'm like, you guys have to. Like, we come home from the pool, and the first thing that they all know, towels have to go out back over the chair so they can dry. Bathing suits get rinsed and you need to get in the shower. And Lennox is like, but the chlorine's already dried. And I'm like, dude, you have to take a shower. You have sunscreen on you. You've been swimming. You smell like a pool. You have to take a shower. And he just doesn't compute. But I've been wet all afternoon.
I've heard that theory before. But the chlorine, it is it's a theory that comes from other Caucasians. I'm serious. I've seen this poll float down Twitter a million times where people are like, do you take a shower after the pool? And they really believe that the pool is the cleansing mechanism.
No.
And I'm like, the pool has the filth.
No. Oh, my God. Oh, no. I've had to start. I'm like, you're going to be itchy because it's going to dry out your skin. You have sunscreen still on your body. Like, this is a full soap and wash. Oh, no, no, no. They try, but no. Mm-mm.
But I've seen that before where a motherfucker will just take a dip and then go in the cabana and get dressed
No.
and be ready for dinner. No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Showers first.
Actually, and I'm starting to wonder because, the universality of the question mark above white hygiene. I'm feeling bad bringing this up, but there's this Asian man named Johnny on the new Married at First Sight. And Dr. Pepper, the white lady.
What? Why is she Dr. Pepper?
Her name is Dr. Pepper.
No.
Her first name is Pepper, and I forget her last name, but they call her Dr. Pepper. She does these house visits on the first couple of episodes where we can really get to know the candidates before we get into the full swing of the wedding and this and that.
Yeah.
So she goes to Johnny's house, and Johnny's house is extremely organized, Asian dude. And she corners him and she's like, let's talk about your levels of, your standards of hygiene and cleanliness. She's like, because if you want to get married at first sight, you have to understand that there's a possibility that someone might not be able to meet your standards. So then he goes and he says what his standards are. He says, listen, if you go outside, you have to take a shower. You should take a shower before you go to bed. Brush and floss your teeth twice daily. Wash your hands before you eat. He's like, I think these are things that I can ask. And the lady, Dr. Pepper, the lady's face looked just like he was asking for an incredible amount of cleaning undertaking. She was like, I'm just concerned that you're not going to be able to find someone. She thought that was picky, and I'm like, bitch, that all the things he just said was mad standard. I'm confused.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, that's not above and beyond. Those are
right. Normal shit.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yes, you have to wash your hands before you eat your food. You have to wash your
hands. You should absolutely brush and floss twice a day. You should absolutely take a shower before you go to bed. I hate getting into bed dirty. And my standards are loose compared to yours.
Yeah, she was looking at him like he was crazy. So I was like, is she white? Happening? That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, is this like a universal? And I mean, this is wrong to ask because, we, the melanated, don't like it when people make assumptions about who we are as a group. We don't like that. We don't like, why do you think only black people do that? Why do you think only Asian people do that? But with the rise of social media and, TikToks and whatever, the knowledge that white people are sharing about them, it's not like we sought it out. They're saying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole thing about people not washing their legs, a white person started that and then it just went viral because a black person saw it and retweeted it and was like, yo, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
you know what? I really never thought much about white people and hygiene until it was brought to my attention that a white person who uses washcloths and washes their legs and feet was not the norm.
Yeah, that doesn't cause you concern.
It never crossed my mind. but I'm starting to realize that that there might be a larger problem here.
Well, listen, when you sent me the thing and you were like, my friend sent this to me and said it's you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right after you sent me that TikTok, it was a TikTok of a black lady just being like, let me show you a washcloth and how you don't do it. And when I was watching it, I mean, I got goosebumps all over my body. I was like, yes, 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 which goes back to that's a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? So like that TikTok went viral of people being like, wow. And I'm thinking to myself, no one's run that, like, since you were 2, said this is how you do it. I got the TikTok several more times from other friends, like, Melissa.
Really? Oh, that's so funny.
Yes. Yes. It just kept coming in my inbox, Melissa, you. And I'm like, how am I in the friend group the one who this resonates with when it's something like very normal to me? You know what I mean?
Well, and it makes me wonder, because you learn these habits from your parents. So I'm curious to know, like, people that are our age, how are you washing your children as babies and then as toddlers? Like, my sons got very thorough information on how to clean their private parts.
Right.
I don't understand, like, what's the disconnect? Are people just letting their kids bathe themselves?
Yes.
Without any
direction? Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Like, I stand there, you know, and I don't have to do it anymore, but I would stand there and dictate. Okay, now we do this. Now we do this. Did you do this? Okay, we got to make sure that we do that. I just that's wild to me that you would just throw a young child in there and expect them to do the right thing.
No, well, it's happened before where I've been in conversation and people are like, you still supervise your girls' showers? Listen, she ain't gonna want nobody to hear this, but every now and again I knock on that door and be like, shalom. Did you hit this and that? Yes. What do you, God?
Yeah.
So, like, as long as I'm annoying to you and reminding you, and the fact that you were annoyed got me thinking maybe you didn't do the shit. So.
Right. No, pits, penis, butt. That's what the boys hear. Pits, penis, butt. Did you get those? And then sometimes Lennox will come out and have not washed his hair. And so he comes out and I said, you showered? And I said, let me smell your head. And when he says no, get back in the shower and wash your hair.
But see, I don't trust any of them. Even Shalom, really. I think she has conditioner buildup because sometimes I can smell her scalp and I'll be like, baby, we're not doing this. And I will go back there.
You know, my hairstylist said that girls at that age tend to have a ton of buildup on the back of their scalp because she was cutting Gwen's hair once and she was like, wow, her hair is really good. And I was like, of course it is. And she was like, I see so many girls this age come in and they have so much like shampoo and conditioner buildup in the back of their scalp because they don't rinse it well.
Rinse it properly, correct. So, well, it's a smell that I get, and it's where the top of her head starts to get greasy. And I'll be like, hold on. I know that this is not happening in my house. So, like, every now and again, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I'll get in there and I'll remind her. I will dig my hands in there and be like, you see how this feels? You see how this sounds? Mm-hmm. That's what it needs to be every time. And then the detangling brush, and then this product. She don't listen. Her hair could be glorious, amazing, but she don't listen.
She'll figure it out. I feel like sometimes some of that too just has to come with them, like, you know what I mean? Like they come to a realization, like, oh yeah, this isn't working, or this isn't good. Justin
Beck was what, 25 when we started dating?
Mm-hmm.
And he said that the soap trickles down to his legs.
Oh, no.
And, like, this was Princess Melissa old school days, and I wrote about it. And I didn't say Justin Beck from Glassjaw doesn't wash his legs. It was just like, I'm dating this new guy, and This motherfucker just told me that the soap trickles down, and now I am very upset. And, you know, in terms of back in the day, like that particular blog post got a lot of traction. So that we're still talking about it 20 years later, soap trickling down and your legs are just clean. I know that Justin Beck is the exception because he's spicy, but I think that might really be a white thing.
Well, and what's even more concerning, especially for white men, is that your legs are very hairy. So
yes,
you need to get
the
down
dirt.
to the skin, and you need to get that dead skin off. You need to exfoliate. Like, ugh.
And not just with that stupid ass poof, motherfucker. Korean mitt, bitch. I want to see gray rolls come off.
I mean, I would even just a washcloth. The poof just harbors bacteria. I don't love a poof in the bathtub or in the shower. I want to be able to like sanitize.
Correct. The poof is just for luxuriating. The poof is just you put on a very expensive soap so that you don't waste the expensive soap. You put a bink drop and then you make that shit effervesce with bubbles, and then that's the last layer after you've really scrubbed yourself. That's what the poof is for. And my girls have a poof for fun. Like their poof is for fun. But if I go in that shower after them, I better see a balled up little doo-doo rag on the floor. And like I'm annoyed that I have to get the wet rag out of the thing and start washing it, but I'm proud of them that they're doing what the fuck I said.
That really is, nothing makes me more furious than a soggy, wet, wadded up washcloth on the floor of the shower or the bathtub. Guys.
Why didn't you wring it out?
Exactly. Rinse it, wring it, and then hang it over the side of the tub so that I can come and collect it. And I don't want to pick up your poop rag and squeeze it out. Oh, no.
I don't. What I do is I grab a dirty towel from somewhere.
And pick them up.
Put the wad of wet disgusting in it and then goes directly in the wash. That's why my machine is always running. Because I can't stand to see, and I don't like you'll see people make TikTok dances, you'll see people take selfies. I see your boo-boo rag right there in the back. And it's a brown one, a brown boo-boo rag.
Ew.
What you really cleaning? You can't even see what you wiped. I hate a turquoise one. I hate that green one. I hate when you could tell it used to be yellow, but now it's grayish. Bitch, white only.
White.
Yeah. I feel like there's only two things that are certain in this life, and that's death and washcloths, because I feel like we've had this fucking conversation.
But clearly we have to keep having this conversation. White people, please.
Well, alrighty then. Well, we have a few announcements. Thank you for listening, by the way. But we have a few announcements. Number one, Melissa's always right, o'clock. It's always that time. So just in case you ever don't know the time, just think, stop, and say, oh yeah, Melissa's right again. Haha, you know I love it. Also, second announcement from the management, I've been told to inform everyone that new episodes are available every Friday. Friday at midnight? Maybe. Friday at 2 in the afternoon? Maybe. Friday at 7 p.m.? Maybe. All you need to know is that Friday is when the new episode will come out. Friday is when you can hit up our Instagram, imperfectstrangers_podcast, to find that interactive story that you love so much that goes with each episode. So if you're new here, you should know that we have an interactive story, little visuals to help you get through the episode. They will live in the story on the day of the new episode, which is Friday, like I said. And if you're listening to that episode, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, anytime after it's been published, you can hit up the highlights section and it'll be there for you. You can just figure out which episode you're listening to. They're numbered and they have names. And you just click on that little highlight button and there you go. So thank you for listening. Make sure you hit us up on all of our social media. We have an Instagram, we have a Twitter, we have a website. Did you know about that? We have a website. We have merch. our merch through our website. Everything you need to know about this podcast is, there's a link in a bio somewhere. It's on a website, it's on an Instagram. You can find it all very easily accessible. We've covered all of those bases to make it easy for you. The best thing you can do, though, is listen every week. Tell your friends to listen. Subscribe. Ooh, I have a great idea. How about writing us a nice little review? Hit up Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Figure out where you can review. 5 stars only, please. And send those along. That lets other people in the world know what you already know, which is this is your favorite podcast. I feel like if we say it a lot, it becomes true. This is your favorite podcast. Thank you. Come back here on Monday when we go live, 8 o'clock. Yeah, we just been changing the times around here. It's okay. Monday, 8 o'clock, we go live to discuss this episode or anything else you guys would like to discuss. If you missed the Monday Night Live and you'd like to watch it back, those things come back and live on our Patreon. That's right, we also have a Patreon. If you love the show and you want to support us, you want to throw in a few little ducats, you can hit up our Patreon. That's also in the link in the bio somewhere. But it's Patreon Imperfect Strangers. So you put that right in the Google. There you'll be. Pick a tier and love us on that end behind the paywall. That would be really great. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great weekend. Continue to wear your masks. Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash the webbings between your toes. Have a great evening. Thank you so much for your support. As always, Amanda and I love, and appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.